Hey, what's up everyone? So in the last episode, I showed you how to add these nested routes using React Router DOM version 6. And in this episode, I want to show you how you can actually create a product and even do image upload using React, Node.js, and also a platform called Cloudinary. So let me show you a demo of how this works. So right here, we can choose a file. So we choose an image and I'll go with iPhone 12 here, open, and then you'll see the name of the file there and the preview of the image right here. And then we can select the brand, that will be iPhone. We give it a name, so I'll say iPhone 12, and then we give it a price, that amount, and then a description. So we can say maybe it's a 6.5-inch display, and then we just hit submit. So I'll hit submit, it's submitting, and once it's done, product was successfully created. And once we come to our home, we'll be able to see iPhone 12 right here, 6.5-inch display, and the amount there. Pretty nice. And we can go ahead and add it to cart, and we can see it right here. We can increase cart quantity and do the rest, checkout, and so on. So yeah, in this video we are going to focus on how we can actually create a product. So that image will be saved in Cloudinary, and here it's loading there, and also we'll have a record of the same in the database. So if I refresh here, we'll be able to see the record of that iPhone 12 in our products collection. If we scroll down here it is. So yeah, let's just get started. And if you're not aware, this video is a continuation of my complete shopping cart series here on YouTube. So I'll leave a link to the series at the description section below, and also a link to the source code of this entire project at the description section below. So the first thing that we would want to do is to create a model for our product. So on our code base, we can just go to where we had models. So let me expand backend here, then models, then right here we can add the product model. And for the product model, we will bring in Mongoose. And then we will start by creating a schema. So we use new Mongoose here, and we have the schema class. We invoke that, and the first thing that we will have is a name for our product. The type should be string, and these will be required. So we pass required to true. Then I can just duplicate these for brand, description, price, and image. And then let's just go one by one and edit them. So for brand right here, type will be string, required true. Then we will have description. I'll just say desk, type string, required true. Let's have price. Type will be number, required true. Then finally here we will have an image. For the image, I'll include type as object, because we'll be having several properties for the image. And then also to know when the product was created or updated, we can include timestamps right here, and we set that one to true. Then down here we can go ahead and const product, and whatever we will do, we will set mongoose.model to be product, and then we include our product schema right here. And we need to export our model now. So exports dot product will be equal to our product. Cool. Now the next thing that we can do is to configure our Cloudinary. So for us to configure Cloudinary, we will come to utils and we can create a new file. I'll call it Cloudinary, and then I'll say .js. From this file, we should bring in the .env because we'll be reading some environment variables. So .env, and we will set these to require .env module. Another thing, we should install Cloudinary. So I'll just bring this up. Then you can open a new terminal from here, new terminal etc. Then cd into backend. Then npm I Cloudinary. So as that installs, we can bring in our Cloudinary module in here. And then right here, we will configure our .env. So .env.config before we do anything else. So what I'll do right here, I'll just say red const Cloudinary. So this object will come from Cloudinary and then .v2. And now we can now make use of this object down here to configure Cloudinary. So I can say Cloudinary.config, and for this we will be needing several stuff. We'll be needing the Cloudinary name. So cloud name, they should be set like this, like from the documentation itself. Actually, I should have invoked this one like this. So wrap this one with those brackets and then pass an object in here. Then we'll have cloud name, and then we'll have API underscore key, and then we will have API underscore secret. So for cloud name, we will read all these from the environment variables. So process.env and then Cloudinary name. So Cloudinary API key and Cloudinary API secret, and I include a comma here. So this is how we can like configure it. And right here, whatever our export is our Cloudinary object right there. So right here I'll say module dot exports, and I'll say Cloudinary. So now we need to get the Cloudinary name, the API key, and also the secret from our Cloudinary platform. So what you can do, you can go ahead and create an account. Go to cloudinary.com, create an account, it's free. And once you do that, you can come to settings, and from settings, once you scroll down here, you'll be able to see Cloudinary name right here. Okay, Cloudinary cloud name right there. And then you can come to security, and from security you scroll down, you'll be able to see the API key here. So you can like copy that, and we can set up these in our .env file. Okay, so I'll set Cloudinary name here to Chaoo Charles, and then we will have Cloudinary API key. This will be equal to whatever I copied, and then we will also have a Cloudinary API secret. So for the API secret, that should be this one. When you click it, it will display it, and then you can like copy that. So highlight these up to the very end with a space, because once you don't include that space, it's not copying. Then you can paste it here. Make sure you remove that space. Okay, cool. So I have included the name, the API key, and the secret. Don't use mine because I'll definitely regenerate them. So just do your thing. And now the next thing that we can do is to create a route for us to actually create the product and also make use of these Cloudinary setup. So now we need to create a route for our product. So right here at the routes, I'll just add a new file. I'll say products and then .js. So first of all, we bring in express, and then right here I can say const router will be equal to express dot router. Cool. And then let's export these router at the bottom, and then we can make use of this router to create our different endpoints. So the first endpoint will be for our posts, so we can like include a comment. This will be to create a product, so we'll say router dot post, and the path will be the root, and then we will have a function here with access to request and response. This will be an arrow function, and we can do everything in here. Since we will be performing some async request, I can make this function to be an async function. Now the first thing, I'll extract the properties for our product from the request body. So I'll get the name, the brand, also I'll get the description, I'll get the price, and also the image from request.body. Okay, and then down here, the first thing that we will do before we even like save the product in the database is to upload the image to Cloudinary. So right here I'll have a try and catch block, and in here I'll say if the image actually exists from the request body, then the next step that we will do is to upload that image to Cloudinary. So we should bring in Cloudinary from our configuration here. So I'll say const Cloudinary will be equal to require, and this will come from our utils folder and stroke Cloudinary. So right here I'll say await. So this will be an async request. So I'll say await Cloudinary dot, we have an object called uploader, then we have a method called upload. So this is like provided by Cloudinary, and then the first parameter that we should pass right here is the image. So I'll pass the image. So this will be a base64 image, and I'll show you how to like convert it from the front end and make it to be base64. And then the next thing is to specify what we call upload preset, and the upload preset for my case will be online shop, online hyphen shop. So let me show you how to set up your upload preset. So if you go to Cloudinary, you scroll back up, you'll see right here we have upload. You click on upload, then when you scroll down here, you'll see that we have upload presets, but now you can like add your own. So you can go ahead and add upload preset. You give it a name. So I don't know, I'll say maybe online shop without the hyphen, and then you can give a folder here, online shop, then That's all. Just go ahead and save. So once you save, that upload preset will be listed there, and then the name will be online shop. So that name is the one that you should include right here. And once you upload the images, they'll appear in a folder called online shop at our media library, like this one. So I won't repeat all that. So now that you get it, just do that and include the name here. Then once the image is successfully uploaded, then we'll have a response here, and we can store that response right here. So we will call it upload res or response. So this upload res is actually the details for our image. It will be an object. So that object will include the width, the height of the image, the URL to that particular image, and so on. So once this is successful, I'll go ahead and perform another check here. So if upload response exists, then we'll go ahead and we will create our product and save it to the database. So right here, I'll say red const product be equal to new. So right here, I'll use our product model. So I'll click that to import it from the models. So I invoke it and pass the details for this particular product. Okay, and we will have the name. So I have already destructured them, and since the key and value pair are the same, so I'll just list them. So we'll have name, we'll have brand, then we will have the description, then we will have the price, then we will have the image. Now for the image, in this case, it will be equal to our upload response right here, and that is why I wanted to make sure that it exists even before we include it here. Okay, so from here you can go ahead and save this product to the DB. So I'll say const saved product will be equal to await, then we'll have product dot save, and then we can send this saved product to the user. So I'll say res dot status, and then this will now be okay, like successful, and then we send our saved product. So I'll save to auto format this and minimize this one. So this is what we have. So in case we have an error in all this, we should log that error to the console and also send a response to the client as well. And then we will say res dot status 500. That means it's a server error, and then dot send the error, and I'll save. And this is how we can successfully create a product and also save that image to Cloudinary. Okay, now we should also have another route for getting our product from the DB. So this one will be easy. So right here we can have a router dot get, and we should have the path, which will be that. The second one will be an async here, and request response, and whatever we'll do right here is just say const products will be equal to await our product dot find, and that will get all our products in the DB, and we can actually go ahead and send them to the client. So res dot status 200, and then dot send, and we'll send our products. Now we should include this in a try and catch block just in case of anything. So I'll say try, and I'll move these two lines in here. Then we'll have catch, we have error, and we can send the error to the user like this. And also you can log it to the console optionally. So I'll save that. So in our index.js, we should add it here. So right here we will have stroke API stroke products, and we should bring it in right here. So I'll actually duplicate this one. Right here we'll have products, and now right here I'll say products route. So you can just call it products, but we have another product here which was getting the data from a static JSON file. So to avoid the same name, I'm using products route. Then right here, instead of products, I'll say products route. So I'll save that. So now when we run our app, currently this is what we have, and we had already created these nested routes from the last episode. Okay, and yeah, we already have a component for create product, but it doesn't have anything. So we will create the form, and then we will proceed to like upload the image and make the HTTP request. Okay, so let's just do that. Now if you are following this from the last episode, we created these files, and I'm not focusing too much on the styles, so I have copied these styles actually from GitHub. So I have all the source code at GitHub, and I'll give you access at the description section below. So the first thing that I'll do is to just align these create and products nicely, and for that I have this file called common styled, and I have two styled components from here: the admin headers, which is just a display of flex and justify content of space between. It's just a div, and for that in our products file I can just make use of it right here. So I'll say admin headers, and now that will come from that file. And then for the button, actually this one is not complete, and then for this button I'll make use of this primary button. So instead of button I'll say primary button right here. Also complete it right here. And now when I save, you'll see that these are now nicely aligned. But we have this great product which is not. So for that, I'll include it outside the admin headers. So I should have these fragments still, and I'll take that there, then include the outlet outside the admin headers. And when we do that, now this is right here. So when we go to products, initially here we can have like a table to manage our products and so on, but then we can create a product using this button. And now let's go ahead and create the form for creating a product. So in our create product right here, we have this styled create product. So instead of just create product, I'll make use of that. So I'll say styled create product. And what this will do is that it will justify our items, and our items is the styled form and also the image preview, so that they'll be in side by side. Okay, so in here I remove that, and we should have two things: the styled form like that, and also the image preview. So image preview like that. Okay, and these are the styles. Let me scroll down here. These are the styles for the styled form. You can like pause and type them out, and then these are the styles for the image preview. Pretty nice. Now let's start with the styled form right here. So this is just a form, a normal one. You see, form. Okay, that is how like styled components work if you haven't worked with it before. So right here we can include the different inputs and also a submit button. So first of all, I'll actually add a h2, a h3 that is, and I'll say let's create a product. And then after this we will have an input field, And the first input field will actually be for uploading an image. And these will accept several stuff. First of all, the type will be file, and then we have other attributes. For example, we have an accept attribute, which we can specify what kind of files do we want to upload. Are they documents, PDFs, or images? So in this case, I only want images. So you can say image and then /. And this will accept all the images, but will not accept documents like PDF or text files or any other file. Okay. And right here, we can create a piece of state for uploading this image. So right here, let me have a piece of state. I'll say const product image and set product image, this to be equal to use state, and this will come from React obviously. Initially, this will be just an empty string. Now right here, we will have an onChange event. So let's say onChange, and this onChange event will call handle product image upload. So it will call a function called handle product image upload. So we don't have that function. Let's go ahead and create it. So I'll say const handle. We will have access to the event, and we can read the file that we are trying to upload from this event. And first of all, fix this error right here. So right here, how can we do that? So we'll say const file will be equal to e.target and then dot files, and this usually displays it in form of an array, and therefore we can get the first object, which is actually our file. So let's see if this is working. So I can like log this to the console. So all we have done is to make sure that this is type file, then we include what we want to accept, then we have an onChange event which we can use to like run this function, and we get the file from the event. So I'll come to the browser, and now you see we have this nice input right here with choose file. Currently we don't have any file chosen, and let's open the console so that we see if we can like select a file. So I'll go ahead and click on choose file, then I'll select iPhone 12 here and open. Once we open, you can see we have the file right here as an object. So we are able to select the file. So we have the name, the size, the type, etc. Now we can be able to transform this file into what we call base64 file. And this is how we can do it. So after we like read the file, we can call a function right here, and I'll call this function transform file. So let's actually first create it. So right here, I'll say const transform file will be equal to, here we will receive the file and we will do something in here. So right here, we will call our transform file and we pass in the file right here. So we have a class in JavaScript called the file reader, and we can like get an object from that. So I'll say let reader. So right here I'll say const reader to be equal to new file reader right here, and we invoke that. So this reader is the one that will help us to like get the images a URL, like a base64 URL, so instead of an object. So what we will do, we'll say if file actually exists, what we will do, we will go ahead and use our reader, and we will say dot read as data URL. This is a method that already exists, and then we will just pass our file right here. Okay, and then right here we will call reader dot on load end. So this is like how can I call it, an event which will be fired after it has completed like reading the file. Okay, so once it completes, we can set this to be equal to an arrow function, and we can be able now to like update our state here. So I'll simply call a set product image to be the result, reader dot result. So what have we done? Whatever we have done is that we have made use of this class file reader to read the image as a URL or a string, and then we like update the state once it has completed reading that particular file. And then else, so right here, if we don't have a file, whatever we will do, we'll just like set the product right here back to default. So this can happen whenever you like, open the pop-up and then cancel it, so it will like reset this to default. So yeah, now what I can do, I can just like log this product image to the console. So I'll say console dot log of our product image. I'll save, and then let's see what we have. So I'll hit refresh, and I'll click on choose file, and I'll then click any file here, open, and now look, this is now our image in form of a string right here, and it's a base 64. Pretty nice. And this is what we will be uploading to Cloudinary. Now we can also like display it directly right here. So let me show you how to do that. So at our image preview, we can say if product image actually exists, what we want to do is to display an image, else we can show a message, image preview will appear here. And then right here now, we can just use the image tag normally, that is img. The source will be equal to our product image from state, and then alt I don't know, I'll say image or product image, and then I can just cross this. I'll save. So you can see we are like just including this from state, and let's see. Look, we have that image right there, the one that we selected, and we can choose another one, open, and look, it changes to that. And once we open this and cancel, it will like reset the state. So it will do this, it will set it to nothing, and there we go. So we are able to like select the image and store it in state. Now the next thing is to set up these other input fields. So right here we'll have another input. The type will be text, and we can like actually perform basic form validation of required in each of them. So I'll say required to this one as well, and for this one, let it have a placeholder of name, and then we'll also have an onChange event. We'll have the event here, and we will call set name, and we'll set this one to e.target dot value. So we don't have this set name, so let's set up that one. I'll just go ahead and duplicate these several times. So all of these can be strings, and down here I'll save to auto format this one, and then I can duplicate it down here. Now we can have, I'll say name there, and now this one can be price, and then we will set price. Let's duplicate this one and we'll set it to description. So description, actually I can just say short, then these will be set desk. So we don't have one for selecting the brand. I can set that to come after the image, and these we will make use of the select tag. Okay, and we can have an on change. The on change will be just similar to this one, so I'll copy that, then paste it here. The only difference is that we will have here as set brand. Okay, and we can also make it to be required. And then now right here we can set the different options. So I can have an option tag. The first one will be select brand, and the value will be an empty string, so that will not have a value. So what I'll do, I'll just duplicate these for iPhone, Samsung, Xiaomi, other. Okay, cool. So yeah, we have our form there. We need a submit button, and I can make use of the primary button right here. So I'll say primary button, and then we include the text here, submit. Cool. So let's see. So we have our form right there. Cool. Now we need to make the HTTP request, and for that we'll be making use of Redux. So we already have the products trace actually, so we don't need to create another one. And we have one where we are fetching the data, so we just add another one for posting the data. So right here, let's go ahead and add an action creator. So what I'll do, I'll actually duplicate this one to make my work easier. And whatever I'll do is that I'll have a products create. Okay, we create an async anchor, and right here we have products. We give it a name, so this will be products create. Then we perform a HTTP request. Now right here we will be receiving values from the form. So these values will represent an object that is coming from our form whenever we submit it. Then here we will have axios.post, and we will post to our base URL. So if I check at the API here, we have this URL, which is our base URL. So that is what we'll make use of right here. So I'll make use of backticks URL right there. This will come from this file slice, this one. Okay, and then we can now append stroke products, and the second parameter is our values. So right here I'll say values. So once that is successful, we will return response.data, and then we can log the error to the console. Also right here we can toast an error message, so toast.error, and whatever I'll say is error.response, then I'll use this .data to make sure that we say free write credit. So at the top, let me bring in that toast. So I'll import toast from React toast file, save to auto format, and then let's handle the state. So I'll just duplicate these ones and I'll include one for the status for like creating a product. So I'll say create status initially to be null, and then now we can be able to handle those statuses right here. So I'll change products fetch, all the products fetch here, to products create. Okay, if it's pending, if the status is pending, then the status here dot create will be pending. So I can highlight these and then use Control D 2 more times so that I can update these to create status. So this is fine. And then for this one, dot items dot push, so we will push our product from the API to the array. So I'll cut this and paste it in here. Now to wrap this up, we need to dispatch these products create at our create product. At our styled form, we will have on submit event, and we'll set it to be equal to handle submit. Let's create that. So we'll say const handle submit will be equal to an arrow function here, and we'll have access to event, and then we will prevent the form from causing page reload. So prevent default, and then now right here we should perform the dispatch. To perform the dispatch, we should bring in the use dispatch. So I'll say import use dispatch. These will come from React Redux. So from React Redux, we initialize it, const dispatch will be equal to use dispatch. We invoke part, and now let's perform a dispatch. So right here I'll say dispatch. We invoke this, and whatever we are dispatching is our products create. So I'll click on this one to auto import it. We invoke it. It's expecting values, and the values should be an object. The object is having the name, it's having the brand, it's having the price, it's having the description, and also it's having the image. So for the image, it will be equal to our product image. So the rest key and values are the same. So name will be the name from the state, brand from the state. All these are the same key and values, but for the image, the key and value is different. So we specify that. So I'll save, and now we are performing the dispatch. And let's test this one out. Fingers crossed. Let's come here. I'll hit refresh to make sure that everything is refreshed. Choose a file. I'll go with iPhone 12. I'll open that. I'll select the brand to be iPhone. Then I'll say iPhone 12 Pro. Then I'll select the price, super expensive here. Then a description, I'll go with 6.4 display. And then I'll hit submit and see what happens. So submit, it's taking time, and we get an error, internal server error, request failed. And let's see our backend, see what error we have. So I'll scroll here for node. Request.status code is not a function. Okay, at our API, so I'll go to backend routes, then the products route, and line 29. I think we made use of request instead of response. So this should be less, and then dot status 200, and then dot send our saved product. And actually, since this is coming right here, that means that we have already like saved it to the DB, and this is the point that it failed. So we should have actually like uploaded the image and saved it to the DB. So let's like check it out. So I'll come here to the online shop, and yeah, it created this iPhone 12 Pro to the media library, and also I think it saved it to the DB. So if I come here and let's refresh, right now we don't have products. Let's refresh and see. So now we have products, and once we check at this, you'll see that it's there, 6.4 display, and name is iPhone 12 Pro. So it's actually like working. The only issue was to send this to the user. Okay, this is only the issue. So it's working. Cool, that is good. Now the next thing will be to get that from the database, like make these requests for getting it from the DB and show it on the UI. So right now, whatever we are showing is our dummy products. So this is hard coded in a JSON file, which is right here. Okay, this is the hard coded JSON file. But right now I want it to be dynamic. Since we can be able to add the product in the DB, let's make a request to get those products from the DB. So in our products, right, we already have this products fetch, and all we need to do is to change the URL here, and I'll change that to be this one right here. So I'll copy that and paste it here, and yeah. Now another thing is that once we go to home right here, we had another request. So this was using RTK query. So we had two ways of fetching the data. We had this products API, which was using RTK query, and also we have this which is using create async bank. So I want to transform this to make use of the create async bank, and for that we will make use of this right here. So I'll change these products, I'll change the items here to data. Now that data will be mapped down here. Okay, and I can comment this one out. Also remember, we are already dispatching this particular action creator, this products fetch. If you go to index.js, I think, yeah, this is why you are performing the dispatch of the products fetch action creator. Okay, and then once you do that, it will fetch the data, and that data is available in state, and you can get it from state just like this. You make use of the use selector hook and you store it there. Now another issue that we will have is that now this product coming from DB is making use of underscore ID. So instead of ID, you should change this to underscore ID, and we should do the same at the cart. So if you go to cart right here, okay, right here, so I'll change this one to underscore ID, and then once I do that, another issue that we have is that in our cart slice, we should change that to underscore ID. So in cart slice, we had this payroll.id. We should change everything to underscore ID. So I highlight that .id, use Control D to highlight all of them. Then I'll bring it at the front here and use underscore dot underscore id for everything to work out. So I'll save that. Okay, now when I come back, is loading is not defined at home. So I'll come back to home and is loading. Where is loading? Okay, this one. So I'll just remove it and save. Once I save, let me refresh. Okay, cool. Now look, we can be able to load these data from the database, but we can't see the image. So to fix that, we need to go to where we have home, and now instead of having the product.image, we will have product.image.url. Remember, now image is an object. Okay, and if you check at the database, we have image object, but we have the URL down here, this one, and also we have the secure URL. You can use any. Now if we check, it's loading that particular image. Pretty nice. So if we come to cart, now all this doesn't exist, so I'll clear the cart and let's try to add this one to cart. So I'll go ahead and add to cart. It's added to cart, but in our shopping cart we can't see the image. So let's go to the cart again and make sure that we change the cart item.image to cart item.image.url. So I'll save that, and yeah, now we can see the image. And can we increase? Yes, we can increase, we can decrease, and we can remove. So now it's working. Cool. I know it will have been a bit of a process, but this is how, as an admin, you can create a product using this form, and also using Cloudinary and also MongoDB database. Now, the next thing that I'll show you is that how you can actually protect this route to make sure only the admin can actually make the request, and also to make sure that only a logged in user can make that request. And the reason why I say that is because if I log out and just visit this URL, so if I just log out and visit this URL, if I refresh, you'll see that I can still make that request. I'm not logged in, I'm not an admin, but I can create a product. So I'll show you how to protect this page, and also how to make sure that you are the admin for you to create a product. So I'll see you in the next one.